Hello and welcome to the triumphant return of the Eagle Insights podcast, Season 3, Episode 1. I am your host, Henry Conti, the Communications Coordinator with the Bellbrook-Sugarcreek Local School District. This episode is all about sports, some of them. Quite frankly, it would be too long to get to all of our fall sports here in the district, so today we're concentrating on both soccer's, volleyball, and football. So today's guests include Brad Stork, John-Mark Mocas, Lynzee Allen, and Jeff Jenkins. I encourage you to watch this one on YouTube because honestly I put a lot of work into some of the B-roll video to make sure this was a great episode for you all. We're going to start this one off with girls soccer. The girls started the season with a 2-2 tie at Beaver Creek. In fact, they start the season with 4 road games: Beaver Creek, Dublin-Jerome, Miamisburg, and Edgewood, before coming home on August 29th to face off against Franklin, their first game on the brand new turf. So make sure you come out and join us at that one. All right, that's enough of me. Let's go to Coach Stork. All right, so Brad, how many years have you been with the girls soccer team here?
This is my 5th season, so it's been, we had 4 before that, and we had 1 losing season. We didn't lose a game last year until tournament, and this is the start of my 5th season.
Great. What are your expectations for this season?
I got some pretty high expectations this season. We have 9 seniors on varsity. Like I said, we didn't lose a game last year. We went 12-1-6. The only loss was in the tournament. We're playing a very solid D1 schedule, but with the new OHSAA rules, we're D3. So that should serve us really well for the tournament.
Yeah.
So as long as we can stay healthy, I've got a lot of real high expectations for this team.
Gotcha. Talk about that division change. That had to have come as great news for you and for the basketball team and so many others here.
Well, yes and no. Like, we dropped down to D2 for last year for the first time, and I think there was a sigh of relief and a kind of a let-up where, like, oh, we're D2, it's going to be easy now. And I think you got to really fight that as well because, yeah, it's D3, but there's still some really solid schools in that level because we were all D1, and now some of those same schools that we played in D1 are now D3. So I think we really just have to watch and make sure that we're still focused on playing the best that we can play, regardless of what the opponent is.
Gotcha. Who are, you mentioned 9 seniors, who are the leaders of this team?
So we have 4 senior captains this year. Jordan France is a 4-year varsity player. She's our goalkeeper and committed to Wright State. Caitlin Hansen is also a 4-year varsity player, and she's committed to IUI D1 over in Indianapolis. Then Tatum Savvy is probably the most positive leader on the team I've ever seen. And Ella Stillings is a really, really strong, just kind of making sure everybody's toeing the line kind of leader. But I would say all 9 seniors are leaders. They all know what it takes, and they've all been around long enough that they can be leaders without being a captain.
Gotcha. Is there anybody on this team that would be a surprise to people? I mean, you're obviously going to look at that senior leadership, but who, after those seniors, do you think is really going to make an impact this year?
Yeah, first of all, I'll talk about one that we lost. Ashton Barrios tore a knee, ACL down at Nationals in Orlando in July, and that was a big loss. And I don't think we realize how big it is because we shut him in with us. Addison Bethel's a sophomore that just is getting more and more minutes and really understands the game. And she probably is going to be the one that's the sleeper that nobody really thought about.
What else can you tell me about this team that people who are coming out to watch you should know?
I think the level of soccer that we play, there's a lot of kickball in high school. You've got, like, even last night, they got 2 D1s up top, and all they do is kick the ball to them and let them do their thing. And we have to be really careful to not get caught up in that because we play possession soccer. We always have, we always will. And I think it just is a prettier game. It's more fun to watch. We've got 2 solid strikers up top with Ella Stillings and Maura Donnenberg, and they both scored last night, and I expect nothing more, just more scoring from them as well. But I think the way we play soccer, when we are committed to the way that we play soccer, I think it's more fun to watch than the majority of the high school games out there.
Gotcha. Next up is boys soccer. The boys started the season with a 1-1 tie against Wyoming. They have their home opener on August 22nd against Tippecanoe. They finish up the month playing Edgewood at home on the 27th and then hit the road for a game on the 29th against Franklin. All right, let's hear from Coach Mocas.
So this is my second year as the head coach for the Bellbrook team. I also assistant coach for 4 years when I got right out of college.
What are expectations for the season for this team?
This season we have some lofty goals. We'd like to win the SWBL again, continue that tradition of having aggressive, attractive soccer. We'd like to have a good long tournament run again, get some good competition and keep playing hard. We also have a very strong schedule this year. We want to work with a lot of teams that have high expectations for their program. So we're playing top defending teams, we're playing top 10 teams in the state in the Dayton-Cincinnati area.
Tell me who some of those teams are.
We have Tip City, we have CJ, Alter, we'll play Wyoming, Indian Hill. We had a couple D1 schools that we were doing scrimmages against, so we want to keep pushing ourselves to do better and better each season.
Gotcha. So it's really that play elevated competition and you elevate yourself?
Yeah, we always want to push ourselves by playing the better competition and get ourselves ready for the tournament.
Gotcha. And who are some of the leaders on the team this year?
So our captains for this year, we have our senior goalkeeper, Grant Driscoll. We have our senior defender, Darius Gaynor. And we have a junior midfielder, Sean Markland. That'll be our captains for this year.
All right. What are your expectations of those three guys?
We expect them to lead on and off the field, have a good presence about themselves, to talk with the players, to control the game, to manage it well, to work hard, to show that they're not just vocal leaders, but they have to show it on the pitch as well.
Outside of those three, who do you expect to make a big impact for your team this year?
We have quite a few returners and then a lot of new faces as well. Through the defense, we have Braden Poole and Noah Cousins back. They were starters last year as freshmen. We had some new faces with Ivan, Ellie, and Landon. They're coming back. Some are transfers, some are new to the program. Through the middle of the park, we have Sean Markland, we have Jaden Warner, we have Darius Muhire, we have Carter Sorrell, we have Josiah Wolverton playing on the wing, along with Logan Lucas, Joe Krebs. So we got a lot of people on the wings there. Top line, we added some new players with Aslan. We added Riley Daniels as well. And then as we go, we got a couple freshmen that are going to make a big impact as well. Kai Lassiter, Chase Miller, and Luke Higginbotham.
Gotcha. And what is one thing that people should expect when they come out to see you guys play?
We want to have a lot of energy with it. We really want to have aggressive soccer, so we're going to be pressing, we're going to be pushing, we're going to try to go for the win each time. We're not here to tie, we're not here to lose. We want to push to win each time we come out.
All right, great. All right, it's time for a little volleyball. The girls started the season with a 3-game loss at Kenton Ridge and then picked up a 3-game win at Fairmont. The team stays on the road for a tri-match against Centerville on Saturday the 24th and plays at Edgewood on the 27th before its home opener against Franklin on the 29th. Fun fact, I'm so old, I actually covered Coach Allen when she was known as Lynzee Johnson when she was a freshman on the varsity basketball team here at Bellbrook, and I worked at the Xenia Gazette. All right, let's hear from Coach Allen. But that changes this year, right?
That changes. This year we go D3, which I was like super excited about because I was like, oh, finally an opportunity. We don't have to play like an Ursuline Academy or someone like that out of the Cincinnati region, but we do because they are all still back in ours. We got rid of like the big dogs, like the Centervilles, the Springbros, but we still have all of those private all-girls schools that are really, really tough coming out of D3.
What is your expectation of playing, I know you just kind of touched on it, but playing that smaller school schedule?
Honestly, I changed our schedule and built it to have like a really competitive schedule. I increased our strength of schedule. I added Ursuline Academy. I added Centerville. I added Olentangy going into this season. And then they switched up the divisions. So we go back to Division 3. But I always think as a coach, you can prep girls as much as you want in practices, but there's nothing like those big games. So I try to put them like on the stage, quote unquote, as much as possible and to play those big games in that big season. I just think it'll be really helpful to us when we come to tournament time. And then when we get to a district final, hopefully, that would be my goal. Our 2 goals this season were definitely the girls make them, and they said to win SWBL. And then the second one is to make it to a district finals and give ourselves an opportunity to compete. They haven't done sectional breakdown yet, so I can't even like say like who I think we're going to play or anything like that. But we could have really tough teams in our sectional. We could have Tip City. We could have Talawanda. We could have Baden. We could have lots of really tough teams there too. So.
So the girls set their goals. Who is leading the girls this year?
This year we have 3 captains. We have Miranda Labrecht. She's a returning DS Libero. She will be her 3rd year with us. as a libero. Sophie Davis, she is a captain. She is going to ETSU to play volleyball next year. Just one of our all-around. She's played on varsity since a freshman. Just tough offensively. The ball probably doesn't go a possession without touching her hands. And then our senior middle, Corinne Stam. And Corinne is coming back. She had a phenomenal summer season, played really, really well, and has done a great job of leading the girls. So great. There are 3 senior returning captains. So
Gotcha. Who, besides them, obviously you would expect them to make a big impact. Who besides those 3 do you expect to make a big impact?
Casey Solomon is another one of our outside hitters. Against Kenton Ridge, Casey had 8 kills. She had a really good game, even though we lost in 3, which was not ideal. But she has really been coming around as just being a consistent player for us. We have a freshman, Kenley Von Handorf. Kenley actually led the team in efficiency kills on Saturday and has been playing really well. Oh, wow. So for a freshman to step up and to be able to do those kinds of things, I think she was our best passer, best in efficiency kills, and best serving. I think that's pretty phenomenal.
Gotcha. Besides a freshman on varsity, anybody you really expecting to see grow throughout this year?
Yeah, our other middle, Callie Codwell, she's a junior. She plays outside in club, and then when she comes and plays for us, she's our second middle because she's just our quickest to the ball. And we talk about it with her all the time. What she does are kind of intangibles, unstatted things that keep the ball alive, which, in the game of volleyball, if the ball hits the floor, it plays dead. Like, you literally end with an error on every play. And I think that Callie doesn't realize, like, everything that she does, her net play, her defensive blocking out of the middle, she has improved drastically, and she's just going to be like a phenomenal asset to us this year.
We talked about goals, but what are your expectations out of this season?
Yeah, expectations. We have 8 seniors. So when I started this a while back, I tried to get the freshman team going, and we called it our JVB. And this group of seniors, I was pregnant, and we didn't have a JVB coach. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it. Me and my assistant coach are going to coach JVB and varsity. And this group of seniors was that freshman JVB team. And we just got really close with them. And I really think that that's why they've kind of stuck in the program throughout the years. And even though all of them may not like see the court a ton, there's just something about like Bellbrook volleyball, and they're very loyal to Bellbrook volleyball. That's what I'm seeing in our team, is like this cohesiveness and this just like holding each other accountable and positivity, and genuinely they get along with each other. We took them for a team bonding, and I honestly couldn't tell you like who's best friends with who. Like, there was not that clickiness that sometimes happens in girls sports, and I just think that's going to be a huge benefit to us in us reaching our goals this year, because you can't replace senior leadership, and I have 8 of them, all from different backgrounds and going different lengths and ways to get to varsity. But I just think that's going to help us out a ton this year.
All right, it's time to hop on the gridiron with Coach Jenkins up next. The Eagles start on the road week 1 at Tippecanoe on August 23rd, week 2 at Bell Fountain on August 30th, and then they come home against Valley View on September 6th. That will be a great one, and the football team's first game on the new turf. To be sure, the Eagles have a lot of obstacles in front of them this season, but if you listen to Coach Jenkins, they take it one game at a time, all the time. Let's hear what he has to say. Jeff, coming into this year, made the playoffs last few years. What are the expectations for this group?
The expectations will never change for us. We're always trying to continue to improve upon our previous years. We've strung together 4 really good seasons, four straight league titles with playoff wins in each one of those seasons. So we're trying to take it to the next step. That regional title or beyond is our goal.
Who do you have back this year? Who are your leaders on the team?
Well, we have a pretty big senior class, and we're looking at them, to lead the entire group there. A lot of them have a good deal of experience. A lot of them started for us last year. Some of them will be first-year starters for us this year, along with some guys that we played young last year. We started some sophomores last year that are really progressed quite a bit in the last few months and over the course of the year that we're really excited about.
Give me some names. You got captains yet or not quite?
We're kind of having circulating captains, but 3 captains that we have pretty much set in stone. And we'll probably add more as the season gets going are Jude, Kelvin, and Johnny Brown.
All right. Outside of those guys, who do you expect to, like you said, senior-laden team? You got some now juniors that you're expecting a lot out of. Who are those guys that you're expecting to make a big impact?
Well, our quarterback, starts with the quarterback, Aiden Caswell, who's come back to us this year, and we're very excited about where he's at and what he's shown us leading up into game one. Really athletic kid, very smart kid. He's getting better, it seems like, by the day. Certainly one of the most coachable and hardest working guys we got on the team.
All respect to the previous quarterback, it sounds like you guys will be a little more able to run with the quarterback this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Aiden adds an element with his legs. Yeah, he's got some pretty good speed and strength that should cause some defenses some issues this year.
All right. Speaking of defense, what about you guys on defense?
We're going to be the same typical Bellbrook defense. We're going to be probably undersized in a lot of position, but we'll be really fast, and we'll run to the ball, we'll hit, we'll hustle, and create plenty of takeaways, and that's kind of who we are.
All right. What about on special teams? You guys always have a good kicker?
Yeah, we got a really good kicker, Riley Farron, this year, who's kind of been traveling the country over the summer. The majority of the kicking camps, I think he's a legitimate college prospect. He's got a really big leg, both punting and kicking off the tee, so we're excited for him.
All right. And tell me about the league. What does the SWBL look like for you guys?
The league should be very different this year. We've got new head coaches at Monroe, at Franklin, at Edgewood. So it's just us and Ross retain the coaching staff. But so there's a lot of turnover in our league. So it'll be new guys with new systems, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of energy within those programs. But I anticipate the league to be pretty tough. You got some big schools there, with good traditions, and we'll be up for the task.
So how do you approach that? You got a brand new coaches at a bunch of different places. How do you approach that as your own coaching staff and going to? Do you try to be at a few more of their games, or is it just more film study?
Yeah, it's film study. We don't get ahead of ourselves here ever. We pretty much become obsessed with the team that we're playing that week, and nothing else matters. Nothing from the previous week, nothing 2 weeks down the road. It's we're putting everything we have into the game that we have Friday night.
All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. A special thank you to all 4 of our coaches who really took the time to help me get this done on a short timetable and allowing me to come to their practices and get some footage. Next episode, we take a look at the marching band with new band director Jake Page. That was a really great conversation. We got into many events this time, so we are going to do away with ego droppings, but come back next week and you can hear all about the great things that are happening in the district. Please remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you know when our next episode drops, and so I feel better about myself. Until then, have a good day. And if it can't be a good one, make it a great one.